Welcome to Softcore History.
Welcome back to Softcore History. I'm your host, Dan Regester, and I am joined, as always, by Jake Goldman.
What's up? What's up? Happy birthday, Dan. Dan turned 30 on the 14th. Yeah.
Thanks,
so congratulations.
Late.
Well, I can't say happy birthday on the podcast.
Time has passed.
on your birthday.
Time's up.
Can I just jump in and say, I don't want to hear any of your Israel shit today, you motherfucker.
Yeah, this is a pro-Palestine podcast.
Okay.
Dirty, filthy
I just want to get out of the way, Goldman.
Yeah. For all of you that are at home listening, I'm wearing just a giant Netanyahu hat, and I have get out of here Palestinian shirt on. No, I don't. Do you want to know my take on Israel?
Oh, no, we'll get into it
like
because we have like a waterfall of like butterfly effect situation.
Today's topic, it kind of ties in. I didn't want to like go a little too hard on the nose, but
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
On the nose. That's how you're going to say that?
Wow.
Bro.
Wow.
I told you my side already.
At least be baldly anti-Semitic like me.
Yeah.
No, I'm very subtly anti-Semitic as a Northeastern Irishman.
Yeah, I just wanted to scream. I've been waiting all week to scream at a Jew. And
you did your part.
Yeah, I did my part. I'm a good person now.
You fixed it?
Yes.
You fixed the problem. Congratulations. You did peace.
Yes.
And of course, that other anti-Semitic voice you hear is Rob Fox.
Well, at least you said other. Like there was more than one, so it wasn't.
Well, he's a self-hating Jew.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I'm more anti-Semitic than most.
Aren't most Jewish people kind of
self-loving?
Self-deprecating?
Yes, it's because you got to be able to hate
No, Jewish guilt. It's the same thing as Catholics. Like it's just like you just are constantly feel guilty.
But you're allowed to make fun of it. But the second somebody else does,
that's how
like,
you know.
Whoa, buddy.
That's how you know that that Catholicism and Judaism. I don't know any Muslims, so maybe they're this way too. Rug. But Catholicism and Judaism for sure are like the right religions because you can feel God sitting on your shoulders, weighing you down constantly.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the Islamic community actually have that feeling too.
Yeah, I think they do. I agree with that.
Anyone that grows up with any sort of devoutness in their life probably has that.
If only I had the freedom of a devout Muslim, you know?
Yeah, right. Well, honestly, it's meanwhile, Methodists are just like skipping through the street. Life is fun.
That's Scientology.
Well.
But they're not on the planet.
Yeah. They're flying through space.
Yeah, they're on Mercury.
I'm more of a Heaven's Gate guy, personally.
That's fair.
Yeah.
When's that comet coming back?
Hail Bop?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is the same thing as Halley's Comet. It's not the same rotation, but it is a returning comet.
It is a returning comet, yeah. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Either way, Good for them. They made it.
Dude, the worst part about Heaven's Gate to me, of all the things...
I forget which one's Heaven's Gate.
As the guys who killed themselves wearing the Nikes.
But which one?
They were wearing the Nikes. They were in California. It was a small group. It wasn't like a huge... Like the Jim Jones shit, there were like thousands of people there.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't
and that wasn't everyone by choice.
Yeah,
Jim Jones.
Yeah.
It also seemed like
everybody.
a kind of good time until the Kool-Aid.
I don't know if you've listened to a lot about Heaven's Gate. They weren't having fun.
I'm not talking about Heaven's Gate. I'm talking about Jim Jones.
Oh.
Yeah.
They had basketball courts. They were in paradise.
Well,
until they weren't.
I'm sure that Great White concert was fun right up until it wasn't too, you know?
What if you just kind of...
Is that Great White? Is that the band?
What if you threw the shot over your shoulder while everybody else took it?
Well,
You're
no
having
one
a good
did.
time.
But no.
See, the thing was, they just shot everyone that was still alive after a certain point.
My biggest, as a kid, because this happened in the late 90s, and I was like, like 6th, 7th grade, I remember thinking, even at the time, I was like, the reason they were dumb, the reason, the Heaven's Gate members were dumb is, they did that for, a B-tier comet.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't the Halley's Comet.
Right,
it was
wasn't even
Hale-Bopp.
Halley's Comet.
This comet came around every 19 years.
Yeah, it was a fucking Kmart comet that they killed themselves for.
Print the
Well,
shirt.
they weren't doing it. Kmart Comet Kill Club.
Ooh,
I was like, who does that?
KCKC, Kmart Comet Kill Club.
It really didn't make sense to me. I was like, guys, that's not even the big comet. That's not the good comet.
You can still get Heaven's Gate away team shirts. And patches. No, yeah, it is bad though. And I just like watching I think his name is Major Applewhite or Marshall Applewhite.
Major
Marshall
Applewhite
that's
was
the
a
football.
quarterback.
That's
for
right. Yeah,
Texas,
college
I believe.
football.
Yeah, I mix up a lot of my stuff.
Not a lot
now.
of Applewhites, though, to be fair.
Marshall Applewhite. If you ever watch his videos, like he doesn't blink, and they are great. You should definitely go on YouTube, look up Marshall Applewhite, look up how he just talks. It's in like this sing-song kind of like over and over, and I don't close my eyes because we are going to heaven. And it's like, yeah, it's actually somewhat. They've kind of done a breakdown on that. It's like hypnotizing in a way. Because it's like
honestly, I like to think that Major Applewhite actually did that when he coached at Houston. Yeah.
you will commit to the Houston Cougars.
He was a UT quarterback, too, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then he worked his way up. I believe he was the coach of Houston right after Herman.
He was.
Yeah.
He was an interim.
He was kind of who's the other quarterback that's become a
He has beef with Ed Oliver.
oh weird.
He like pretty much caused Ed Oliver to quit mid-season.
Wasn't there another Texas quarterback that's kind of like becoming it's not Case Keenum? The Graham Harrell. He's like
Oh
an up
yeah,
and coming
USC
well.
offensive
USC
coordinator.
offensive coordinator. Yeah.
But he was at UNT.
I don't know.
I think whatever.
What
who
are we
cares?
talking about today?
That's not
Yeah.
our podcast.
Well, what we're talking about today is something that had an effect on the world that we still feel today. It's the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Would you say-
Jake was sweating? He was like, "Oh God, we're going back to Israel. We didn't kill Jesus."
Yeah.
No,
Would you
I
say
figured
someone-
we'd go with something that's, like most people at least have an idea of what happened. Like you kind of like have a broad grasp. I didn't go super niche with my topic today. I like to switch it up. There's only so many Timothy Dexters.
Yeah,
That's true. Would you
To be
say
fair, I think in a lot of ways, Gavrilo Princip is very Timothy Dexter-esque.
What was his last name?
Princip.
Princip.
Princip? Oh, I fuck.
There's
Fuck.
it's a
Rob.
silent. There's no H, but it is Chip.
Okay.
Yeah.
would you say someone
Bitch.
took?
Yeah, you
France-
got the fucking
God,
name
never
wrong.
was
Yeah.
I'm calling you out
I'm
for
waiting
it.
for this all
Like
day.
you do every goddamn episode.
All right. Sorry. I'm going to pay you back for that.
Yeah, no, I know. Digging my own grave here. I see. So yeah, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914 in Sarajevo.
Dan asked me how to pronounce that today.
Oh, I wrote it out too.
How you said it?
I know how I say it.
Yeah, it was. He was like, "What is a Sarajevo?" I was like, "Sarajevo."
Yeah, Sarajevo. There's a J in there. I know it
I was
gets
like,
tricky.
"You didn't watch the news in the '90s?
It's a big one.
Bosnia was all over the fucking place."
No, in the 90s I was about 8.
I too was.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to,
yeah,
like-
you knew how to fucking say it.
I wasn't
It
paying
would be,
attention
it
to
would be a
Serbia and
shame.
Bosnia.
Okay, it would be really bad if I got a degree in political science and didn't know how to say Sarajevo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will give. I will
I was
say.
a filmmaker.
Yeah,
so-
no, that's fine.
I will say this.
At UCF.
I am older and was more aware of the news just by being older at that time. But also, the other unfair advantage I have is, for whatever random reason, the two major cities that they sent the Bosnian refugees to in the United States, because they'll pick refugee cities for.
There's 2. They're hilarious.
It's St. Louis and I think Charlotte.
Jacksonville was another one.
Yeah, okay, the Jacksonville was too. There was a girl. I think she listens to this. Mel. She liked TFM. She was friends with Mackenzie Seidel, the TFM intern from back in the day. But she's a Bosnian refugee, and now she lives in Alaska and sells weed.
That's awesome.
But like legally.
Cool.
But yeah, she's a Bosnian refugee, and
I was about to say, you fucking snitch.
they relocated to North Carolina from Bosnia, I believe.
Yeah, there's someone really high up actually where I work that he went from, I believe, Sarajevo to Jacksonville, and he was just like, "What?" He's
Yeah.
like- well, Sarajevo is like a town. It's like a what do you want to call it? Like a modern city.
Yeah.
It was just under siege.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. Sarajevo in the 90s is very similar to not joking about it for a second. If you go watch the Gaza shit right now,
Yeah.
that's what Sarajevo looked like in the fucking 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Yugoslavian quadruple civil war that was going on.
Yeah, that was a real problem.
Yeah, imagine if there was like the Union and the Confederates, and then also just like the Native Americans jumped in, and
Triple
then,
threat match.
And then like Canada just came in. They're like, you know what? And then Mexico was like us too.
It just becomes a Royal Rumble. At that point,
literally,
right?
that's kind of the fucking the Yugoslavian
Bosnia, the country's so nice they named it twice.
Bosnia Herzegovina.
Yeah, Herzegovina.
Herzegovina. So
I cut that out. Like
Yeah.
it's just Bosnia.
It's Bos. It's the
Sorry.
Bos, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, secret society Serbian society called the Black Hand, aka the Unification or Death, armed a small group of revolutionaries with their weapons, with a well-organized plan that set off the spark with 2 well-placed shots that would change the world forever. This is kind of like the brief synopsis you get in history class growing up.
Well placed, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Well, so I want to say real quick, by the way.
Again, this is not what actually happened.
Yeah.
The true story of the assassination was actually a comedy of errors that worked out solely from sheer dumb luck. And now we're going to give you that actual breakdown. Because, like, again, like, this is, we kind of just breeze over this in history class growing up.
It's like comically insane how this worked out in their favor.
And what were they? Was it Unity or Death? Is that what you said?
Unification or Death.
Unification or Death. So that sounds crazy, and you're like the Black Hand, Unification or Death.
Black Hand sounds way cooler.
There's
I
that
guess,
sounds like C tier Marvel villain organization.
Yes.
But Unification or Death, that sounds like hardcore.
Although, more so, the Black Hand's more like the DC universe of just like a really bad rip off of Marvel.
Well, that was Falcon and Winter Soldier. They were like the something. Hey, Coop, can you look it real quick? It was called
Talking to the microphone, Dave.
Probably the Red Hand.
I think it might have been called the Red Hand or something. Because
it sounds right.
They had something like. But anyway, Unification or Death. That sounds crazy until you realize there was like multiple American slogans like that during the Revolution.
Yeah,
Liberty or Death.
One was the snake all chopped up.
Unite or Perish or something like that. Like all kinds of fucking wild shit.
Yeah, so I
My
figured
favorites appeal to
we're just kind of break this down by different sections. Preparation, we're going to start with target, just like who they're going after. Kind of the assassins, kind of a little breakdown on them.
Well, I would say, I think you should start with the assassins.
The attempt. I have a nice little order here. I have a nice little rundown
I think it's important to just note real quick. You can go into the more later. Note real quick. College kids.
Yeah. We'll touch on it later. But yeah,
so,
kind of think of just like your current, I guess, for lack of a better example, Antifa. Like college Antifa members that are just kind of showing up to rallies.
They have like ironic spray paint.
Yeah.
That's like their activism.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah, right. Until they did this.
Yeah. So a little background. Apis, he was named after a sacred bull worshipped in ancient Egypt. He led the secret military society known as the Black Hand. Apis greenlit this operation to assassinate the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. He gave the mission to a smaller group within the organization called the Young Bosnia.
Cool.
Okay. Now, does that have anything to do with the Young Turks? Not the current like media company, but
The
Young Turks is named after it was like a really liberal, I think, group within the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah,
like
the YouTube channel actually started this kind of plan. It got the wheels rolling. Yes.
No, but the Young Turks is a real thing.
So Apis did this without the sanction of the full executive committee and then left for Sarajevo.
Nice.
To meet all the conspirators.
Yeah, I probably don't need the accent, but
I have to do it. I won't get it right.
It's not the correct accent.
Yeah,
I
if he
don't
doesn't
care.
say it with an accent, it's just a hard
any
J.
accent.
Yeah. Sarajevo.
Yeah.
Wait, what would be like a Balkan accent on this?
I think it's a little Eastern European, maybe.
How would you say it?
I gotta like.
Come on, give me your best Eastern European, jackass.
What's your center word for that?
It'd be like niet.
Yeah,
Even though that's
like Russian.
Niet. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just going
Sarajevo.
full KGB there.
Yeah.
But that's like still a large swath of real estate and like 50 different cultures and languages.
For sure. There's a lot of blending there.
Yeah. So when he meets these conspirators, they sat around for about a month. This was because they couldn't get the weapons, explosives, suicide pills, or funds. This is what they ended up scraping together. They got 6 grenades.
That's not bad.
No.
4 FN Model 1910 pistols.
Okay.
And very little ammunition that they would practice with in the middle of a city park.
No one saw that happen and was like, hey, wait a minute.
I think back then in like 1914, you can just
Eastern
shoot.
Europe.
Yeah, you can
The
just
Wild
shoot
West
guns
wasn't
in the city park.
There was the Wild West, but really everywhere was the Wild West.
Yeah, the world was kind of wild.
Also, I just gotta say, pistols are, unless you're point blank, if you're not regularly shooting, you're not gonna kill something with a handgun.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I mean,
No, it's like the hardest gun to shoot is a handgun.
Yeah, it's easier the longer the gun is.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a stock,
you just go shotgun.
Yeah.
really a shot, yeah.
You want to spray like as much as possible.
Like think about, so you hear like, fuck, I'm trying to think. So there's some famous assassinations that were handguns, like that did the job, like Lincoln.
Sure, that was right behind him,
literally right behind his fucking head. But then you have
Hard to miss.
like other ones where it doesn't work.
Reagan.
Like Reagan or Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
Because then he'll just come and beat you with his cane.
Yeah. Or I want to say Pope John Paul was a handgun as well.
The second?
Yeah.
Really? They shot at him?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, you don't remember the assassination of Pope John Paul?
Attempt.
No, I don't.
He got shot, though.
Yes, he did. He got
And
hit.
then he went to the jail cell and forgave the man.
Yes. Very Pope-like.
Yeah, there's a Pope move.
We then had him molested, though. So it was, yeah.
He just had his boys inside take care of it.
He was like, I forgive you.
But they don't.
But these, my priests don't.
Guess what they're in here for? Oh, that's terrible.
Heyo.
Yeah.
So this group of young Bosnia consisted of 10 members who thought they were ready. None of them had any formal training, and obviously they were short-handed
like
with the
Antifa
gear.
has formal training in what, combat?
Stage combat?
Yeah.
In fact, a large group of these men consisted of guys who had like diseases, who were kind of like terminally ill.
Oh, so they were ready to go.
Yeah, they're ready to die.
Sending the best of the best out there to finish the mission.
They're all ready and willing to die according to their mission, even though, you know, they were short-handed, and the cyanide pills they actually ended up buying were expired.
Well,
What?
And we'll get to that.
What does that do?
Yeah.
Just nothing.
What?
It's got to do something.
He's got to take more of them?
We'll talk about it.
I mean, so like a lot of times when medicine expires, it just means it gets weaker,
Yeah.
right? So like an expired antibiotic is just a less effective antibiotic, I think.
So, man of the hour, Gavrilo Princip, tried to enlist as a Serb guerrilla in 1912 when the Serbs were fighting the Ottoman Empire, but he was rejected for being too small and weak.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
But he was also, at that point in 1912, he was 17.
yeah.
Okay.
So
well,
when all this
that's
goes
like
down, he's
28 in today's age.
Yeah, that's true. Even his photos, he kind of looks super young. Just for the
Baby
time,
fa- little
too.
baby
He's
face.
got a little baby
Oh, wow.
face with a little stash.
Yeah, well, I still got the stash. And also, guerrilla fighting back then for a lot of countries was like backpacking through Europe for our generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like Ernest Hemingway did it.
Yeah,
didn't
you
he?
just go guerrilla fight a little bit.
He's like, I'm going to go fight with Spain.
Yeah.
Like,
And the Balkans are like a historic nightmare.
yeah,
It's
always
never
been.
not been. Guerrilla fighting is like a top 3 profession in the history of the Balkans. Like even essentially post Byzantine / Eastern Roman Empire, not fucking awful. And even getting them down in the first place when they were like the Thracians and shit, like they were fucking lunatics. And then they were just they had, you know, civilization, and they were part of the Eastern Roman Empire for a couple hundred years, or the Roman and then Eastern Roman for a couple of years. But then, man, after that, it was just like always assholes, always a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, and I mean, they had celebrations and like anniversaries and dates that would celebrate defeats of other like forces from like the 1300s and stuff. Pretty much their history of just survival became
This
their
is one of
holidays.
those. This is one of those areas, and I was going to get into this later about like Israel / Palestine, where it's like they have their own culture, but they've like never had their own country. Like they've just always been part of different empires.
Yeah, you could say a lot about. I mean, most of the world is like that now.
It's different because you can be like, you know, like say the United States lasts for 1,000 years or whatever. Like no one's gonna be like New Jersey was always there, but America ruled it, right? Like you'd be like, no, New Jersey was part of fucking America.
We can't say that because we don't know what kind of power New Jersey grows into in the future.
That's fair.
What if New Jersey just uprises and takes the whole country over?
Yeah. Or like, what
I
if
could
like,
see it.
Canada's just like, we're sending all our French to New Jersey. They'll make it.
Jerseyans,
Jerseyans.
the North Jerseys.
No, I mean the French are. I don't know.
That was a terrible equation.
No, I think it
there.
made perfect sense.
Yeah. No, it's because no one in the area would like them, the French Canadians.
Yeah.
Think about it. You got like Philadelphia, you got like New York, then all these like northeastern hard-nosed cities, and then you throw a bunch of French Canadians in there. It's not going to go well.
Not for the French Canadians, no. Sure
No.
isn't.
No. But yeah, no, the whole area has just been They have their own culture, but it's been a part of other empires.
Yeah.
Pretty much the entire time.
What was it right before Israel, though? What was it? Just part of an empire?
Israel,
Jerusalem
the
and
Brits
shit?
were running it right before Israel was founded, but that was only for was only at the end since the end of World War I.
I like to dunk on the British, and I blame them for everything in the Middle East.
But that was only up to up to the end of World War I, because before that it was the Ottoman Empire for hundreds of years.
Right.
And then obviously everyone was fighting for thousands of years over Jerusalem and
Even in the Bible, even in the fucking Old Testament, like 60% of the time, someone else is ruling Israel. It's like the Assyrians or the Persians or the Babylonians. I mean, the Babylonians took the Jews out of Israel.
Yeah.
They were like, you're going to Babylon, motherfuckers. Like, yeah, like it's always, and the Egyptians rule. I mean, like it's almost always someone else.
Yeah. A big old hot piece of land.
I was actually going to say this.
Building on it.
We could talk about more later, but that there may be nowhere on Earth that has been, because they talk about like I've seen like shitty memes being like, Israel's actually not a country, it's a colonizer state. And it's like, dude, it's been a colony like 90% of its existence on Earth. It's always some other empire's piece of land.
Yeah. So what are you going to do, baby?
Right.
What are you going to do?
so the target, of course, was Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Not actually the original target. That was the governor of Bosnia, Oscar. I'm totally going to butcher this name. Here's your chance to just railroad me.
I'll probably. That's
Poiorek. Perek. Oscar Perek. Yeah.
Porek?
Poiorek.
That's a hard one. I don't fucking
Yeah. Anyway,
You got it. Oscar.
Oscar, the governor of Bosnia.
Oscar the governor.
Oscar, the governor.
That's what they called him. No one could say his last name.
They scrapped that plan because they didn't have the necessary weapons. Franz Ferdinand, a little background on him, started as an Archduke of Austria. He's one of 70. He kind of like fumbled his way upwards. His cousin, Crown Prince Rudolph, commits suicide, which then caused Ferdinand's father to be next in line. But he revoked his right immediately and just gave Franz kind of like...
He's a smart guy.
Abdication is the best move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to do it like Prince Harry style.
Oh, no.
No, but like him, where he's just like, yes, I'll stay a royal, but I don't want any of the responsibility.
Right. So his brother at the time was in charge, and he was just like, I don't want... Like, when he goes, I'm good. Like, just give it to my son. So his wife, Sophia, he's madly in love with her, but she had no royal blood. So Franz's kids could not actually hold the throne when he went. So he's essentially a stopgap.
Okay.
Like, if he was to ever take over kind of the throne of Austria-Hungary, he would have been just kind of like a fill-in. He's like a substitute, like for the next guy.
So would he even be the king or emperor? Or would he be a regent?
No, he would have ruled Austria-Hungary.
So he would have been the emperor.
Yeah, but like his kids, he couldn't pass on because his wife had no royal blood.
Oh, okay. So he couldn't continue the line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just like, oh, cool reign for like 5 years, dude.
Well,
It's more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Rain.
Take what you got to get.
Yeah.
Also, that's honestly like a great gift to your children. Although maybe his kids be a little shitbags about it, but it's like, hey, we're going to have lots of money, and you're not going to have to deal with running this fucking nightmare country.
And constantly
of royalty.
the fear of being assassinated.
Yes.
Because like, and we'll touch on this, like they kind of knew. Like, it was just kind of open that like, hey, like wherever you go, someone's going to take a run at you.
Yeah, well, the Balkans fucking hated Austria.
And he hated the...
Yeah. And I mean, in like
he hated everyone, really.
Yeah, dude. I mean, fucking like that area, Austria-Hungary is actually like a very hilarious historic empire to me because like they were like against all odds. I don't know how they ever got powerful in the first place, and they had to do it while basically like gaining territory from a bunch of like hard bastards, right? Like Romanians and Hungarians and people in the Balkans, like that. And then their next door neighbor was the fucking Ottoman Empire, which was essentially the main superpower on Earth for hundreds of years. And I mean, like they were the ones like cutting away. By World War I, the Ottomans were a shell of their former selves,
Right.
but they were doing most of their big fighting with them, like 14th century to up the end of the 18th century, and then they had to fuck with Napoleon a little bit.
Yeah, the Serbians celebrated St. Vitus Day. St. Vitus Day, which is the anniversary of defeating the Ottoman forces in 1389.
Yeah, everyone in that region really hates the Ottomans.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're successful, man,
Yeah,
that's when everyone turns on you.
Haters
I
gonna
think
hate.
everyone hates everyone everywhere at this time in world history, though, too. Like, pretty much everyone's hating
That is how everything kind of went down.
Yeah.
Everyone likes an underdog, but
mean,
when you
everyone-
become that powerhouse,
Yeah,
Well, this is also at the same time, too, like, so this is leading up to World War I. This is at the same time, too, where you have, Tsar Nicholas II in Russia, who's just a fucking spoiled rich kid who doesn't know how to manage power. Like, everyone's kind of had this unlucky dice roll.
well, Wilhelm's an asshole too.
Yeah, like, every single world leader
Oh,
is
and they're
kind
all
of an idiot.
related, by the way.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just like a cousin of
literal
each other.
cousins. Yeah,
Yeah. No, it's all just like spoiled, nepotistic, like just unlucky dice roll
Yeah.
after unlucky dice roll. Here it is. You have like entitled kids vying for power in the middle of like a giant power vacuum. Not power vacuum, but like there's no clear cut like they're the one, they're gonna win it. Like,
yeah. No, they're all like relatively even. That's like
Yeah.
always a weird thing you hear about when they talk about nuclear weapons, and they're like, "Oh God, they're horrible," and like nuking Hiroshima and Nagasaki was terrible. But like the flip side of that is, how many like wars between major powers did nuclear weapons stop? Because you can't go to war with someone else with nukes. If you like, you can't do it if you both have nukes because someone might be a big enough asshole.
Plus, we made up for it, guys. We built super fast railroad systems in Tokyo, okay? That was us. We felt bad. So we just gave Japan all of our high-speed railroads.
Yeah. It's like, what would we do to like get with Olivia Munn or something? It's the same thing as like you doing like, okay, well, like how much of a like kick in the dick would you take to get like rad railroads for your country?
Right?
Is this like a low key John Mulaney joke?
Yes. Yeah.
What is
Or
it?
is
that
it a
he-
joke or is it a dig?
Is it, yeah? What like?
We're just furious that we
John
don't
Mulaney's on with
believe that
Olivia
John
Munn.
Mulaney knows what to do with Olivia Munn.
No. No.
I don't know. Like I just see him like
my
being
number
like,
one.
"What?"
Yeah.
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 No, it's just like he went into rehab and then got divorced.
Not got divorced, like left his wife.
Probably
Yeah.
cheated on his wife with
Left
Olivia
his
Munn.
wife.
Yeah.
Like she was like, I'm heartbroken. Like she didn't want to get divorced.
Yeah. He was just like, Olivia Munn.
Olivia will do that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, what? Why are you saying sorry
Look,
to me?
anyone, like anyone I'm with, like Kylie, sorry. Olivia Munn comes a knocking.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough.
Yeah.
You put me in a tough pickle. So, he was kind of the redheaded stepchild of his family / the country. Aristocrats went out of their way to treat him like shit, but don't feel bad. He kind of sucked.
I feel like that's just like an aristocratic mantra. It's like we'll treat you like shit, but we won't feel bad. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't really.
We'll treat
care
you like
either.
shit, but we're gonna put you in power. Like
I feel like the European aristocrats like invented high school.
Yeah.
it's just lunch
Yeah.
tables.
Yeah, that checks out. Checks out. Like you can't sit with us.
Yeah.
It's like, but we're gonna talk about how you dress.
He was extremely prejudiced against Hungarians, who he viewed Slavs as less than human, called Serbs pigs, and wasn't big on the Jews either.
Well,
who was?
Classic Catholic at the time.
Yeah. The funny thing about Europe then is how we were talking about this before the show about how they all hated each other and thought each other were like lesser than. Like the British thought the Irish were like garbage. Germanic people thought the Slavs were gross. Slavs like Russian, Ukrainian, Eastern European thought they were gross. No one liked the Jews. Anything like even probably Greek and Italian was kind of seen as like sub. And like you can reasonably probably tell the difference between a lot of Italian, like a random Italian and maybe a random Slav. But if you lined up like a British person, a Swedish person, a fucking Russian person, a Polish person, and I don't know, someone from Hungary and someone from Austria and someone from Germany, and you're like, which one's from where? You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the tougher things too. Is
Yeah.
like that whole Balkan area. It's like it's all the conflict is over like ethnicity.
Yes,
but like
ethnicity. It's the same way a lot of
Well, we don't now, but like my grandfather and his friends would bust each other's balls over like inner white racism. Like it'd just be like goddamn Polak or
me and my friends did that in like high school in St. Louis. Be like, you fucking like late Italian friend, like you fucking wop, and he'd be like, you fucking Mick, and like yeah, whatever kraut. Like we would do that.
Yeah,
it's like fun light racism.
Right.
Yeah.
You're dipping your toe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's safe racism.
It's safe racism. Well, I will say I'm not often
it's
like
safe, but
I'm not often like overtly influenced by media. But I remember watching like Band of Brothers, and they'd call each other like a guinea and a Mick and stuff like that. And I'd just be like, that's rad. I love that.
I think we
white
should.
people giving each other gruff for what type of food they eat.
it's like, your language sounds all bibbity boppity.
What variation of potato do you eat? Okay.
Right.
You got to go.
Yeah.
There's the door.
Despite his personal beliefs, he still had goals of turning the bipartisan state of Austria-Hungary into a tripartite. Is that
Just read it.
Tripartite state?
Okay.
To include the Union of Slavic People. So he didn't necessarily see these people as on his level, like we were saying, but he figured it was best for the country to just all get along.
I mean, honestly, dude, that shit happened in America too, right? Like you had essentially like WASPs running shit forever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, look, we can't only be like so mean to like Jews and Catholics and Irish and Italians, right? Like we can't just be like full on dicks.
And
obviously black people and was fine, but
what really drove this home for him though was like at all costs we have to avoid war with Russia. Like we cannot get into war with Russia.
How'd that go?
well,
Oh, it was good until a certain gunshot.
honestly, Russia didn't do. Russia just only did okay in the First World War, really. Although Austria-Hungary,
They didn't lose.
no, Austria was to World War I what Italy was to World War II.
Right.
Just kind of
They're
the useless other power that was there.
It's an annoyance. That's what it was. Yeah.
I mean, Germany had to, like at the beginning of the war, Germany sent some troops, but I feel like they were largely like, Austria, you got this? Like on the Eastern Front? Like, Austria, you take them. Like it's you and your friends are in a fight at a bar, and you're like, all right, you got him, I got him.
Yeah.
I got them.
Please get him.
Yeah. But then Austria couldn't mark them. Couldn't fucking do it.
Whoops.
So back in 1908, the dual monarchy of Austria-Hungary annexed Bosnia, a region that had previously been under control of the Ottoman Empire, and home to a largely Slavic population. It had ambitions of being a nation of its own, but nearby Serbia wanted to incorporate them into a pan-Slavic empire. So there was a little bit of tension there with just like who's going to...
Bosnia's the hot girl at the dance.
Yeah. Who's going to grab Bosnia.
Yeah. Let's take Bosnia home tonight.
So
It's such a bizarre. I'm from Missouri, and it'd be like a bunch of people fighting over Missouri.
Yeah.
Like it's like I guess.
I mean, they did.
Yeah.
Missouri was fought over.
Yeah.
People aren't great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really the type of thing.
Shit
it's like,
doesn't change,
That's
dude.
what you're
Yeah.
going nuts over.
Yeah.
Is that?
So, wary of Serbia's ambitions for territorial expansion, Austria-Hungary has sought and received assurances from Germany that it would stand behind the dual monarchy in case of war with Serbia. And then Serbia's obviously in bed with Russia at this point.
They're both Slavs.
Yes. So
It's all pretty ethnically aligned.
Franz is like, all right, we got to avoid any type of conflict with the Serbs too, because once we get into war with Serbia, we're at war with Russia.
Yeah.
And we just need that assurance, though. If that ends up happening, worst case scenario, break in case of emergency, we have Germany on our side.
Yes. But the problem with that, though, is that England and France are allied with Russia.
At this time, yeah.
Yes. So I forget the exact name of that coup. You're going to remind me. This is actually like 7th grade shit, and I'm just blanking on it. There's the alliance system, essentially, where it's just like you go to war with them, but then you have to go to war with them, but they're allied with them, so they're going to go to war with you, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just a fucking domino effect.
Yeah. And it kind of, well, we'll get to it like at the end, like what kind of the final result.
Oh, yeah, what happened, yeah.
So here is the attempt. Despite warnings of possibly having terrorist attacks during his visit to Bosnia, few official security precautions were actually taken. Franz Ferdinand and Sophia traveled in an open car, and the route their motorcade would take through Sarajevo had been made public well beforehand.
Do you know who this reflects really poorly on?
Kennedy?
Yep.
I was about to say, like
JFK.
Yeah, the JFK one is even somehow worse because all the Secret Service was hung over that day too.
Yeah. This is just like they weren't like other assassinations. Things changed.
There was precedent.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, should probably have some people standing outside the balcony in the theater.
Because with Kennedy, there were like rumblings, right? That like don't go to Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
plenty.
also
Yeah.
no, it's the type of thing where don't ride in a fucking open motorcade, in an open car,
especially through the middle of a bunch of high-rise buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually the couple's 14th wedding anniversary as well.
Now, hold on real quick. I will say this about Kennedy before you get on back to that. A lot of people are probably like, well, Andy was a Democrat, and going through Texas, like, he won Texas. He lost California.
He won Texas because of LBJ.
And whenever a Cowboy fan comes at me like, oh, you guys threw snowballs at Santa, I'd be like, well, you domed JFK.
Yeah. So who's the
Dickheads.
real jerk?
Yeah. They probably wouldn't care about that.
Probably not.
No.
Cowboys fans like Santa more than they did JFK.
In hindsight, maybe they put a little bit more respect on JFK
You
than
can't
they
just
did
pick
at
and
the
choose
time.
Catholics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Santa's Catholic?
It's Santa and JFK. Yeah, Santa's Catholic. What are you talking about?
What if Santa was JFK?
What if? I guess it makes some sense.
How does it make sense?
It makes
Jake?
no
It
sense.
makes no
I'm just-
sense.
yeah,
Why
it
are you
makes
trying
no-
to justify that?
I don't know. It's just trying to be your friend.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just trying to throw some fucking softballs for you guys.
What? Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Rob went up to get a drink.
Yeah, Rob went and got a drink, so now we got to carry.
Now we got to carry this. And now
I know.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Turned 30 on Thursday.
Yeah, dude. Birthday week.
Yeah. Same week.
Same week, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, how you feel about that though?
It's been messing with me a little bit. It's
Why?
Not too much. Just like it is kind of weird, being like, oh shit, oh my god, he's going to
no,
the
he's
bathroom.
going to take a piss.
Good God. We'll be right back. No, yeah, it's cool, man. There's a lot going on in my life right now. That's like
Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot.
just got another car, trying to buy a house.
Oh, what happened to your car that got eaten by squirrels?
Oh no, that one's still good, but my wife had to get rid of her car. Well, she didn't have to, but she did during the pandemic.
You guys going to drop the top like Franz Ferdinand?
We are not top droppers.
Not a convertible couple?
We're not. I'll rent a convertible like on vacation.
If you're on the coast, yeah.
Yeah, like when I went to Joe's wedding in the Keys, we drove a convertible from like Fort Lauderdale to Key West, and that was tight. But I'm not going to buy a convertible for myself. That just seems like a bad idea. I don't know. I guess people that buy convertibles for themselves don't really give a shit. They're not thinking like, oh man, what's the maintenance going to be like on this? They're like, no roof.
Yeah, why don't you just get a normal car and just cut the roof off like Johnny Knoxville did to Bam Margera?
I was going to say like how the people in Pimp My Ride do it. They just,
well, he just puts fish tanks and everything.
Yeah, fish tanks and and he's going for another. He's going for another drink.
Yep, here he is.
Yeah.
Live breakdown right now. Coop, do you just want to join the podcast?
Yeah, you can just hop in.
Rob just abandoned
I'm Rob.
us.
Sometimes I got to pee and drink.
Like I was about to move on, and you just
Could have
kind of
just done it.
And now back to your regularly scheduled
No, it's
programming.
fine.
Well, it's like me and Kylie are watching Sopranos right now, and now she's like, she just found out the ending of Sopranos, and she's like, I don't want to watch it anymore. It's like, well,
You should watch it regardless of if you know the
we
end.
should still watch it. It's a great show.
Journey, not the ending.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah, dude.
There's 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot.
I mean,
in
it's
there.
one thing if it's like Game of Thrones, where it's like, no, they fucked up a whole like final 2 seasons. It's not like
Yeah.
the last moment was controversial. It's that
Seriously, that was it. There was 2 minutes that was controversial about
Right.
The Sopranos. Mm-hmm. Other than that,
Although I will say, Bush on Friday did kind of ruin a major plot point that would have probably pissed me off too.
Are you talking about?
Christopher.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, whatever.
Yeah.
the coma part was a little weird too for me, but
Yeah. We don't have to give 25-year-old spoilers at this point.
that's true. Yeah, there is a point where it's like you can't say him anymore. It's like, oh, it's been 4 years. Yeah, at this point. But now it's
And also,
old again.
if it's Game of Thrones, I'd rather just spoil it for you because like don't waste your time.
Oh, it's so annoying. Like I rewatched like the first 3 seasons, and it's just like this could have been.
I know exactly where to tell you to stop.
At the end of the season 6.
Yeah,
Hard home.
Cersei's wins.
Oh, hard home?
No. Stop. Cersei's wins.
When's that?
Season 6, episode 10 finale.
Yeah.
Where she blows up the Sept. Cersei wins.
Isn't Hard Home in that season?
It's in that season.
Okay, yeah.
Hard home, the door, all that isn't Winds of Winter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's stop that season. And
Yeah.
it's just over.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's like that's
Better
it.
that way.
yeah.
Sucks, huh? But it's like you're angry, but you're like, okay, fine.
So Ferdinand's car actually overheats to start the day. He says, "Our journey starts with an extremely promising omen. Here our car burns, and down there they will throw bombs at us," which they actually did.
This is like
Spoiler.
This is not unlike fucking Netanyahu going in a fucking Mustang convertible through Gaza right now. Like really, like it's just like, hey,
Sup,
like
players?
it's fucking a wild decision.
Shabbat shalom. What's
Because
good?
at no point is he like, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Listen,
it's like,
like,
I rule you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all he's doing. He's doing a swinging dick tour, dude.
You just got to pull Ben Affleck and Argo and just put Canadian flags on your fucking car.
That would make
No
so
one's
much
going
less
after
sense.
Canada. Yeah.
They'd be like, why is a Canadian here? How did they get here? What is a Canadian?
Yeah. What is it?
What is a Canadian?
What is Canada?
Yeah.
So assassins lined the bridges. The Archduke was sure to cross the first attempt on his life. Was at this bridge. A grenade was thrown at the vehicle, which had a 10-second delay on the grenade, causing it to roll off the hood, explode on another car, wounding several other people, including the original target,
Oscar
Oscar the governor.
the governor. Wow. Also,
But didn't kill him. He was
you know
fine.
what you do with a grenade that has a delay, which is every grenade?
Throw it later.
Yeah. You count.
Again, these people were not experienced. They had no training.
That's just being not experienced in counting or.
Well, they only got 6 grenades, remember? So it's not like they had practice with the
they think they're
grenades.
going to like stick the landing on the hood? It's going to sit
Well,
there?
they had 5 more after that.
Yeah.
So homeboy, he throws the grenade, takes a cyanide pill, and jumps off the bridge into a river, surely ensuring his death, except the river was 4 inches deep, and the pill had expired a few months before, and he was only sick. He didn't die.
So
So he's just barfing in a creek.
he just like broke his legs and got
he
sick.
hurt his legs. He's puking, and then he just gets detained by police.
Him not knowing the depth of a river in, I guess, where he lives is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
It'd be like if I jumped off a bridge in St. Louis into the Mississippi River, not knowing it, but somehow the Mississippi was only 4 feet deep or
Yeah.
whatever.
Or
And I
just like jumping off.
It was
I just-
4 inches
I'm sorry,
deep. You can see the
yeah, I'm
rocks.
sorry,
Yeah.
4 inches deep, and I somehow both didn't know and didn't pay attention
Didn't have
as I
eyes.
was jumping. Yeah,
Yeah. No,
Maybe he could have been blind, like very severely. No contacts or glasses at this point for him.
it just feels like a fucking moron.
you would see the bottom of a 4-inch deep
Should,
river.
yeah. You think he kind of did like a swan dive?
God, no, he would have died.
Yeah, that would have done it.
He
That
should
would
have
actually
taken a
knocked him
header
out.
off
Yeah.
the bridge.
If anything,
Yeah.
if he wanted to kill himself, you just go
head first.
full on like
Headed, dude.
jackknife.
Yeah.
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 Freedom.
Yeah, there you go.
Freedom.
Yeah.
So in addition, several other young terrorists had opportunities to act against the royal motorcade, but backed off. They were, they simply froze with terror as the car approached. One of them ran away, and another just remained still,
Watch
unable
the
to
parade
move.
like a bitch.
So a guy just watched a parade.
Yeah.
So yeah. It was a great parade.
Yeah.
Other than that one part.
So Ferdinand continues to City Hall.
I'm
where,
sorry. Was there no urgency at this point? Did they speed up? Did they hit the gas?
They're like, well, clearly the grenades aren't a threat.
Yeah. They kind of just like speed on to City Hall.
They're like, LOL.
These guys are detained, and Ferdinand's just like, I got to go speak to the mayor.
Just another day.
This guy wanted to die. It sounds like.
It sounded like he had a kind of a death
Right.
wish. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like? A lot of people say like, oh, they wanted to commit like suicide by cop. He was just like, I'm tired of this shit, but I want to blow my brains
Well,
out.
actually, he went
committed suicide by like asshole student.
Incompetence.
He actually sped to City Hall to yell at the mayor, being like, "I come as you're here as your guest, and your people greet me with bombs."
Yeah.
And so he just kind of freaks out on him.
After beforehand, he was like, "LOL, they're gonna throw bombs at us."
Yeah. It's like it's well known.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That feels like it's on you, not the mayor.
Yeah. It's like
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
If you call it, you probably should know better.
Like if you were driving home from somewhere and that place was like well known to have terrible drunk drivers, and it's like 1 a.m, and you're like, oh man, we're definitely gonna get hit by a drunk driver tonight, and then willingly drove through that place. Like,
Yeah, or it's
at
like
no point should you be like, how dare those drunk
But
drivers?
maybe it's kind of like a Jason Bourne movie where he just expects people to fly through windows that he's got to take on one at a time. It's like they might give me a problem for 5 minutes, but like I'm going to take care of it.
I don't know. Was he
sounds
armed?
like he was. Sounds like he
Sounds
did
like a
not
dick.
feel that way.
Yeah.
when
He
got
was
to the-
like an avid hunter, so like I feel like he probably had a good shot.
I don't know why, if you're not him, you're not strapped at all times.
Yeah, especially if you're calling the thing that it's
God.
going to happen.
Think of the things he killed in like 1902.
Bears.
Well, more than that. He probably killed like tigers and
He's probably going to Africa and Asia, killing shit. Yeah.
yeah, just big game hunting.
Killing wild shit. Undiscovered tribes.
He's a wild boy.
Yeah, that type of shit.
For sure.
So after that, he ends up visiting the wounded people in the hospital rather than just leaving the city.
The wounded terrorists?
No, the guys that got hit with the grenade.
Oscar and shit.
So
Okay.
Oscar and a few other civilians that got hit by the grenade
I
that
thought
rolled off
Pope
his
John
hood.
Paul II did them.
No, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
Sure didn't. So on his way out, they try to give him a different route to arrive safely out of the city, but their driver spoke Czech and they were giving him orders in German. So he had no idea.
Oh, so it was like an Uber.
Yeah, pretty much like when you get an Uber and he doesn't, he's like hard. It says hard at hearing or like deaf.
Or just doesn't speak your language. It's fine. I don't
That
really
too.
care if an Uber driver can barely speak English, because 95% of the time it doesn't matter. But every
Yeah.
once in a while you're like, no, the GPS is wrong. No, that was it. That was fucking it. Like he's not paying attention or some shit. I mean, trust me, I don't want to be on here acting like, oh, it's only Uber drivers who don't speak English who are bad, because really they're mostly bad.
Yeah.
The language is sometimes an added wrinkle to it being bad, but
It's understanding a GPS app.
yeah, it's really more that no one understands the colors and arrows.
Yeah. You know
so
how like all the other
essentially-
roads are gray, but this one's purple? Stay on that one.
Yeah, good.
Essentially, yeah, he stays on that road that's just bright red,
Yeah.
full of assassins and terrorists still.
Yeah, this road's really congested with armed terrorists that hate you.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
What? I can't tell what you're saying.
Oh, I thought it was just red because
No,
of the
no
light.
speak German.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gavrilo Princip actually left his post to grab a sandwich.
Yep.
College kids get hungry.
And he noticed the vehicle of Archduke of Austria and the Duchess of Hannenberg was right in front of him.
Yeah,
Like-
like he walks out of the sandwich shop, right?
He walks out of the sandwich shop with sandwich in hand as he's eating. They're right in front of him, and the car stops because they're yelling at him that he's going on the wrong route.
Right.
And the driver can't understand what he's saying. And of course, this is a car in 1914, so you can't just like go back and reverse.
Right.
You have to like kind of like tinker with it and push it and
You're
shit.
driving like a really unsophisticated riding mower at this point.
Yes, and so he's 5 feet away from the car.
Yeah.
It couldn't like.
Hadn't he also just kind of given up? He was like, fuck it, I'm getting a sandwich. Like he
Yes.
wasn't going
Yeah.
back. Like he wasn't going back. He wasn't like, I'm hungry, then I got to get back to my post. He was like, dude, fuck this.
It's like it's over.
Yeah,
like there's no
I'm
way.
done with
Like
this.
all my homies got arrested.
Yeah, like it's over.
Might as well get a sandwich.
Getting a bite.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
grab some Jimmy John's.
literally.
He just walked out of a Subway.
What a good Jimmy John's commercial that would be.
Freaky fast.
Actually, you know what this
no,
really
it's
is?
freaky fast, dude. Like it's like we got it done so quick.
Yeah, this is
You get back to your assassination. yeah.
what Friendship is really experiencing. Actually, is a Mentos commercial.
The Fresh Maker.
He just like stumbles into the right thing. You know what I mean? That's like every Mentos commercial. It's like, well, I gotta be like, oh, I'm fucked, and then like you just like, you know, like improvise your way into something.
Oh, the one
perfect.
where she holds out and like the teeth are like.
Mentos, or like the guy.
Mentos, Fresh Maker.
Yeah, or the guy who like sits down on a freshly painted bench in his suit, and he's got a job interview, and he's like, oh no, what do I do? And he's like, okay, I got it. and like lays down on it horizontally and everything and makes his suit pinstripe.
Yeah.
And then goes into the fucking thing.
Aces it.
Yeah, it's a
Fresh Maker commercial.
The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand is a fucking Mentos commercial.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Fresh Mentos. I don't know the word.
So he throws down the sandwich, pulls out his pistol, and takes 2 shots.
Well, first off, no need to throw down the sandwich.
Yeah,
You don't need to. Yeah, it's kind of a waste.
Yeah, huge waste.
Like, yeah, you just need one hand for the pistol.
Yeah. Guess these guys weren't into food justice.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, their countrymen's probably starving, and
Yeah.
he's just wasting a perfectly good sandwich.
This is what. So what we're saying. What you're telling me is Gavrilo Princip is not an intersectional ally.
No, sure isn't.
Sad.
No.
I don't know what food is. What is a food? What is food justice? Justice for food?
No, it's exactly what it sounds like.
Like for the animals that go into the food? Or
No.
You shouldn't waste food?
Yes.
God.
So he hits Franz Ferdinand in the jugular, and he hits Sophia in the abdomen. They both die shortly
And
after.
they're 5 feet away.
5 feet away. I think she dies like pretty quickly. Franz dies a little bit after. So Princip attempts suicide, but he too had an expired cyanide pill. He then tried to shoot himself, but police wrestled the pistol away from him.
Honestly, he deserved what he deserved to do was like shoot himself wrong. Like, he was just in such a hurry that he puts the bullet in his jaw.
Yeah.
You know what I
Just
mean?
bounces around.
Yeah,
shoots
like
out the other
doesn't
side.
do it right.
So Princip was actually he went to jail. They obviously arrest him. He goes to jail, but he's too young to die by execution.
What?
So-
He's 18, right?
19.
Maybe that's a thing there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said, okay, apparently in Habsburg law, he's just too young to die by execution. So instead, he ends up dying in prison of tuberculosis.
Yeah,
That's-
during the war.
Yeah.
That's a way worse way. I'd rather be executed than die of TB in a prison.
They were asking him. I remember I read something once where he was interviewed like halfway through World War I, and they're like, "You know, you did this, right? Do you feel bad?" And he was kind of like, "I mean, it needed to be done. How could I know?" I want to say that was his like rough response. Not that's certainly not verbatim, but
Yep. So Franz goes back to Vienna. They have a 15-minute funeral service for this very unpopular future leader.
well, not anymore. He's not.
Well, future leader, yeah. Well, 15 minutes. He gets
That's a short ass funeral, man.
for like a royal.
Yeah, can you imagine if
member.
like one of the princes died, like, and then
Yeah.
it was just a 15-minute funeral?
My,
All right, time
my
to go.
non-denominational wedding was longer than that.
It was close.
No, I appreciated that how short.
Yeah,
you kept
weddings
it.
are different. There's
Yeah,
a
I
big
mean it
party
was
at the end.
short, but it was longer than 15 minutes.
If your ceremony is longer than 10 minutes, you're an asshole.
Including bridal parties, walking in and everything, it was.
I was about to say from the start
No,
of
as soon as the priest talks.
talks.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
when it
well,
started.
then,
It was
all
like
right,
7.
All right, that's
Yeah.
fair.
yeah. You got your quick 5.
Yeah.
Quick
Type 5. Type
We
5.
also
yeah.
had cocktails before and after.
That was
so-
great. Big fan of that.
Well, you guys were in the fucking hotel suite, so you were drinking all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, since a Serb killed the only man who was totally against having any issues with Russia, what do you think Austria-Hungary's next move was?
They went to fucking war with Serbia.
Yes.
They went straight into war. And honestly, let's be honest, he didn't want to do anything, but a lot of Austria and a lot of Europe was just ready.
Yeah. Everyone was ready for everything.
They were thirsty for it. They wanted it.
Basically, from what I understand about this period in time, it's not just people wanting to fight Serbia or like Austrians wanting to fight Serbia or other people in that. Everyone everywhere wanted to fight. Like it was just, they were just waiting for
Because
something.
everyone was pretty super. This was probably this is one of the most even times in history, I feel like, in terms of like, there's no power that you really like immediately has a leg up on another power.
My bookie's not having good odds on a certain side.
There's no, the odds on everyone is pretty even, essentially. Yeah, my bookie's not, there's no prohibitive favorite because you've got like the UK, who has the best navy in the world, but tiny professional army. You've
Yeah.
got the Germans, who have a huge professional army, but no real good navy to speak of other than U-boats. They utilize those really well. The Russians are the Russians, so they have as many bodies as you could possibly want to
Right,
throw
they're-
at a
they're
problem.
zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they are the zombie nation.
World War Z.
France is still France. Like this is before France becomes a joke after getting you
Yeah,
know,
so they throw bodies at shit too.
well, it's not. Yeah, they throw bodies and shit, but they're also just good. Like they have France like has no weaknesses, I guess you could say. They have a good navy and a good army. Maybe they're not necessarily elite at anything, but they don't have any flaws.
Sometimes you don't have to be elite.
Right.
You
They don't
just
have
have to be
flaws
good.
either. And they want to get revenge on the Germans for the Franco-Prussian War. Like they were humiliated in that, 40 years prior. So this is like, what's 40 years from like the imagine someone kicked the shit out of us in the 80s?
Yeah.
That's fresh in the mind.
That's definitely fresh.
Right.
Like if Russia just was like, fuck you guys, and
Yeah.
did something fucked up to us, we'd be like, we're doing it.
Right.
Yeah, France was like the Ginobili Spurs. You know?
Yeah.
Duncan, Tony Parker,
Really just sound.
fundamental.
Yeah.
The big fundamental.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well led, too. They had good generals at that point. They really didn't have bad generals in World War II. They just got, it's like in MMA where somebody just like, for whatever.
They got outclassed.
A weird punch. No, it's just like a weird punch.
Just a bad
gets you.
matchup. Bad matchup.
Yeah.
Bad matchup. So yeah, they go to war with Serbia. Obviously, the dominoes fall as they do, and bang, the war of all wars
To end
at
all
that
wars.
time. Yeah.
This World War I was talking to Jack Mandel about this a couple weeks ago.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Little butterfly effect that I have is actually from Jack Mandeville, and it's a little teaser for next week.
Yeah, but I'll say this before you get into the butterfly effect, because this is before has to do with the actual World War I, not the butterfly effect of it.
Okay.
And I was talking to Jack about this,
Who, by the way, let's just pimp it out. We're gonna have him on next week.
Yep, Jack will be on next week's episode. We'll be talking about overrated civilizations.
Yes.
Yeah, that's our episode topic next week.
He kind of recommended it.
Yeah, he did. I'll pick out a bunch along with the ones he wants to talk about. But yeah, overrated civilizations is what we're doing.
Like defunct civilizations that
yeah,
extinct.
Yeah. Or even ones that I guess they all did. But whatever. Anyway, what's fucked up about World War I to me, and I said this when we were having our conversation. World War II had very, very evil actors in like the Germans and the Japanese, right? But I always say even though they were worse than any central power they did worse things than any central power did in World War I, but at least there were goals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At least they were trying to do something. And I say that because there's no one as evil as the Germans and Japanese in World War II as there are in World War I.
I still think the Japanese and Germans in World War II had goals.
That's what I'm saying. In World War II, they
had
had
an end
goals.
game. Yeah,
they had an end game. There are bad guys in World War II, and there are good guys in World War II. There are no bad guys, certainly no evil guys in World War I, but there are no good guys.
Yeah.
There are no good guys.
I'm sorry, Rob. Did you not read about the Christmas story where they put their weapons down and they played a game of soccer?
Yeah, all right, fine. Those fucking 100 people were great.
They probably also understood that. What the fuck are we doing?
World War I was mindless.
Yeah.
My favorite term to use for it is it was a bunch of cousins, royal cousins, playing meat chess.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's all it was. And you got to think, too, the amount of, how mundane it was to fight in that war sometimes. You're just sitting in a trench waiting to die.
Yeah. Just
It's
sitting
like-
around, sitting
Yeah.
sitting in a toilet, basically,
Yeah.
waiting to die.
It's like, oh, shit, they threw gas in it. Row.
But I mean, there was no reason for it other than everyone at the top pretty much wanted to go to war. They wanted to play the grand game again.
Yeah, but with
Yeah.
some of the worst weapons known to man at the time, like mustard gas and
Yes. Yeah.
Whatever shotguns they were using in the trenches that they had to.
they pretty much made
What was
everything.
it?
Pretty much everything they used in World War I. They're like, we're not gonna
Don't do
allow
that.
that.
Yeah.
anymore.
Well, so the shotguns didn't get outlawed. The Germans, that didn't happen until the Americans got in the war. It's really funny, actually. The Americans were like, you know what'd be good at fucking cleaning out a trench? A fucking military pump action shotgun.
Yeah.
And so it was so effective at trench sweeping that the Germans tried to make it a war crime, and they didn't really get it outlawed. Everyone's still using gas, by the way.
Right.
But that was so hardcore, that it was fucking up so bad that they were like, no, this needs to be outlawed, and we wouldn't do it, obviously. No one would. And so the Germans would, if they captured an American soldier with a shotgun or shotgun shells on him, executed immediately.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think like, just like, yo, what the fuck? This is just a trench full of blood now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but also, like, my counterpoint to that would be like, maybe don't fight in a trench.
Yeah.
Like, maybe don't do this anymore.
Hey, you choked my guys out with some gas earlier.
Right. Also, I would be like, what country are you in right now? Oh, not Germany? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
This trench is in France? Were you invited? No. Fuck you.
Seems like we're playing by our rules.
so the more I think about it too, like the more you think about like the cousin meat chest thing, it's like the fact we got involved in it is always so crazy to me. It's just like, yep,
It was inevitable.
Let's fly over. I mean, yeah, of course, because we want
Woodrow
that.
Wilson needed a distraction.
From what?
Yeah, what was the distraction?
He wasn't brain dead till after the war.
That's true.
Yeah, he was still normal.
Women's
Woodrow.
suffrage? I don't know.
No, that was after the war too.
Well, he was trying to delay it.
Actually, didn't do a good job with that. It probably accelerated it.
Yeah, 'cause there's less men.
You had a mini World War II situation there. The war wasn't as long, but like with the Rosie the Riveter and all the women going to factory shit, that started at World War I was where that first happened. So that probably accelerated suffrage, if anything.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like,
not saying
oh,
he's a thorough thinker here.
fair enough.
It's Woodrow fucking Wilson. So yeah, but little butterfly effect. Germany enters into World War I. Obviously, it goes down the way it does. Germany gets hit with heavy sanctions. This causes kind of a rise of Hitler and the Nazis.
Not to mention Stalin.
Stalin.
And Lenin.
So the Holocaust, all the shit Stalin did. That in turn is the creation of the state of Israel. Israel existing inspires young men to join Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda does 9/11. Our forever war in the Middle East. Thank you to Princip.
Gavrilo Princip caused 9/11.
Yes.
The guy
Confirmed.
could have just had a bite of his sandwich and be like, you know what? I'm out.
This sounds like a great short film
Yeah.
where it's just like he has to choose whether to keep eating his sandwich.
This would have
kill
been like a
someone?
really good Charlie Chaplin silent film.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Keep eating your sandwich or go murder the fucking Austrian peacock over there in a shitty car.
I go with sandwich every time.
I typically, I've rarely had a chance to choose between sandwich and murder, but I always feel like it's sandwich.
Right. It's like, do I want like a decent lunch or do I want to die?
Chances are you're not going to want to kill anything if you have a full belly.
That's true.
You're not as angry.
That's true. I always have this theory, like when I wake up, I'm never in the mood to do anything until I shower. You know, like everything sounds like a terrible idea. Like
Yeah.
a fun party later tonight, dude, fuck that. I don't want to go to that. Then I take the shower, and I'm more clear-minded, right? The sandwich might be the same way. Finish it. Be full.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's a
about it.
struggle.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, gotta kill two people.
Although, to be fair, you know what probably didn't help Princip's line of thinking? Franz Ferdinand being mean to a foreigner right in front of him.
yeah. Look
Just
at him
yelling at the
screaming
driver.
at this
Yeah.
guy.
Like, I was gonna let you go, but you
You're
just
being a real cock to this Czech guy.
Yeah, no, anytime I've ever seen someone really rude to someone in the service industry, I'm like, hope they flip
well,
their truck.
hold on,
Yeah.
buddy. You gotta die.
And, well, I was going to mind my own business, but yeah.
Now it's just time to kill.
Yeah. No, it is kind of bananas to me, though, that fucking sandwich, dude.
It wasn't a very good sandwich. Here's actually another lesson.
Yeah.
Also,
Always
actually,
make your sandwiches good. Do you
Yeah.
own a deli? Always make your sandwiches good.
for this story, going through the sources and everything, there is much debate over the sandwich.
Really?
Whether or not he actually went to get the sandwich, whether he ate the sandwich,
Was mid sandwich?
was mid sandwich, was he eating the sandwich?
Yeah.
That was the biggest debate of all the scholarly sources I sought out.
How far into the sandwich he got?
Or if the sandwich even existed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a magic sandwich.
It's like the magic bullet.
Yeah, the magic sandwich is. Well, if he was eating it, the sandwich clearly wasn't that magical.
It was the opposite.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a sandwich in 1914
Sandwich
was
that
very
started
enjoyable.
everything.
I actually think it might have been really good. It might have some like artisan
bread.
meats,
I
fresh
it's
fucking bread.
It's all fresh, I would imagine.
yeah, all of it. Yeah.
You get meat though, and
Yeah.
like
It's
really,
a city,
really,
dude.
you're-
In fact,
yeah, but
the,
you're getting
the meat
good
probably-
meat there.
There's a decent chance the meat tastes better because it's like salted more or something like that.
Yeah, you got to think
Just
it's not
naturally.
pumped with chemicals and stuff.
No,
like,
yeah,
you're not
it's
getting
all
Subway
fresh.
meat.
Like if it's like a salami, like it's fresh fat in there. And
There is a
stuff.
pig hanging in the back that
Yeah,
they made it out of.
100%.
Yeah.
I would argue if it was that good, he wouldn't have killed this guy.
Yeah, but it's all relative. So it might be better. It might
Oh,
be
so like it's just a normal sandwich stand.
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's spoiled.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
To us, like if you compare it to a fucking Subway sandwich, yeah,
It's like living in New York or Philly.
right, glorious. Right.
It's like, dude, I can't have pizza and sandwiches every day
yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's just
Too much of it.
But to him, it's just like whatever. So, like people go like into some shithole New York pizzeria and be like, "Oh, it's a New York slice. It's so fucking good. I can't believe how good it is." But a New Yorker's like, "Yeah, the place sucks. Whatever. I'll toss this to the rats."
oh,
and the
another
sewer."
raise, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
toss this away. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I get it. And yeah, that is the story of the assassination of Franz
What did you
Ferdinand.
think the most egregious part of it was? Because you did all the research. on it.
Franz just deciding to power through and like make multiple stops after the first
They
assassination
kept
attempt.
stopping.
Like, just leave, man. Just
Yeah.
get out of Dodge.
Yeah. And this is also like, the best way to put Franz Ferdinand's car is like when you go to a go-kart track and you get the one shitty go-kart that the fucking carny has to keep coming out and restarting.
It's just got the
only
wheel that
turns
doesn't
left.
turn. Yeah.
It only turns left, and like everyone just keeps railing you from the right.
Yeah, they just put you into the wall a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Franz Ferdinand's car, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the most egregious part too. It's just the fact that he just said straight up, "Oh, they're gonna be throwing bombs at me down the street." Ha ha. Oh,
Called his shot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if
knew.
he was just already tired of being like in that
I
position,
wonder if
ready to go.
how many bombs
He was-
have been thrown at him previously.
I
It's the
actually
real
think
question.
I remember reading at some point that he actually was really upset as he was dying because his wife died.
Oh yeah, I can
That
see
actually,
that.
like, he was like, he kind of always suspected he would be assassinated, if I recall correctly. But he like never wanted that for his wife, obviously. Like he was
And-
like he felt really awful about the fact
Princip didn't actually aim for his wife. He just
yeah, and I think actually Princip also said that he felt bad about killing
because he didn't mean to shoot her.
her. Yeah. But here's the thing: handgun's not easy to shoot.
Even from 5 feet away.
It's not. I've done it. Like I've shot handguns before, and that was handguns, shotguns, and ARs. I've shot all of those, and the handgun was by far the one I felt the most uncomfortable with.
And he was a little twink that got rejected from the army previously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, you can't even shoot a gun with the stock. How are you gonna shoot so how's he gonna shoot a fucking handgun?
It's like, well, get this. I'm gonna start World War.
I'll show you what I can do. You don't think I can fight in this war? You're not even gonna believe the wars I start, buddy.
I like to think he's very jaunty in
Yeah.
that moment.
Theatrical. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he probably was.
What do you think the most egregious thing from the whole butterfly effect of everything was? What's the wildest thing in your mind? Or the funniest, or like, not funniest, but like most ridiculous thing that happened off of that? Because it really fans out.
Probably the
That
Holocaust,
guy,
right?
the guy from the league,
Probably, yeah.
the guy from the league making up that he was there.
Yes, that's it. That's way more than a Holocaust.
Some guy got canceled because of that.
He made up a
I want
story
to talk
about
to that
being
guy
at
in
the
person.
Twin
Be like,
Towers.
can you believe that? Like this guy killing this?
If it wasn't for this guy.
you wouldn't have been in this situation.
Yeah. Friendship ruined a
God,
lot of lives.
yeah, there's so many different things that. I mean, fucking Pete Davidson's dad dying.
Yeah, right.
Without this guy, SNL's probably a little better.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Gavro Princip kind of ruined Saturday Night Live.
He ruined SNL. God, what else? There's so many
It's really anything derived from 9/11.
yeah.
Yeah, well, 9/11 alone, yeah, there's a lot with that. Like
Charlie Wilson's war doesn't get made.
Gavro Princip fucking ruined airports.
Yeah, he ruined airports.
It's very inconvenient now, even with Clear.
Yeah, I mean, fucking you got to think like there's something with pharmaceuticals in there somewhere. Just us hanging out, like guarding pharmaceutical opium out in the desert. Like that's a thing that we do. Yeah, there's a lot.
I really can't think of one specific moment that caused so much chaos off of it.
Oh, into
Like
perpetuity, like forever.
Coop is doing, in the midst of, or maybe finished doing like 10 parts on Julius Caesar, and 12
parts.
And I don't think that the assassination of Julius Caesar, a much more important figure in terms of what he did himself, I don't think that had 1/100th of the effect that the assassination of a
guy
minor king.
Nobody
a
cared
minor
about.
prince. Yeah,
That
a minor
no
prince.
one cared about.
An archduke.
Yeah.
An archduke that was going to be a royal, like a ruler that nobody liked.
Yeah.
A stopgap ruler.
A stopgap.
Like I really don't
interim
think,
coach.
I really don't think turning Rome imperial had this. Like even that, it just took way longer. At least, like it took a way longer amount of time. Maybe that's just the progression of time, how things get accelerated, especially post-industrial revolution. But like, man, that guy, he blew Archduke Ferdinand's fucking throat out, and shit went crazy.
Like I still think a war would have happened though.
It would have. It was inevitable.
Yeah, it was gonna happen, and maybe just not in the way that it did. Like, maybe it has no effect, and like that's the historical paradox, right?
And
like
again, if you want to go with like the full ass hypotheticals, so Dan Holloway was talking the other day about how the theory or equation to split an atom got written down in 1910, right? Mm-hmm. So like that's how they first figured out how to make an atom bomb was in 1910. They didn't make it in 1910, but
they realized how much energy
they got the playbook.
Yeah, they got the equation. All right, so let's say World War I doesn't happen at that time, and then World War II doesn't happen when it does, and what that means is maybe there's all
Because if World War I doesn't happen, then
No.
Hitler doesn't rise to power.
No. What? Here's the worst possibility. And this is all hypothetical. It would make for a good alt history novel, I guess. Is World War I does happen because it was going to happen. Like they all wanted to fucking throw down.
Yeah.
Maybe it happens in the 20s or 30s. There's no atom bomb yet, still, right? And then, but you get the same type of thing where there's a winner and the loser gets punished too hard and that country goes into shit and gets radicalized. And then World War II happens, but it happens when everyone has an atom bomb but no one's fucking used it yet. So maybe they toss it around like candy like they did fucking poison gas in World War I.
So there's just a lot less.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe in some fucking weird way.
But Einstein probably doesn't come over here.
Yeah,
like
probably
maybe stays in Germany.
Because maybe it would have been what drove them wouldn't have been anti-Semitism, right? Like anti-Semitism was a huge part of the Germans being pissed off after World War I. Maybe anti-Semitism doesn't come up then; it's something else. More anti-Slavism instead, or whatever.
Germany right now is the #1 power in the world.
They were the #1 power in the world for a minute, for sure.
But like by a wide margin at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
could have happened.
What if like Germany just wipes off
there's a
shit ton of Balkan countries.
There's a lot of weird possibilities. The United States is probably still relatively the same, I think, actually.
Well, without the Marshall Plan, the United States isn't what it is, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, they made a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, that's a ton of money. That's
Yeah.
like that. We'll give you aid if you buy from us. That's it. Like, kind of, that was the whole Marshall Plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, and it's just we benefited from the fact that Europe twice in the 20th century was so broke to shit that they had to, and we were like the only industrial power left that they had to buy a lot of things from us.
Yeah, I mean, we provided both sides with weapons before we got in.
Yeah.
So
I mean, who knows? But I mean, like, we were always going to have our resources, right?
Yeah, sure.
And we were always going to have our land. Like, no one was taking that away.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of like World War II if you pushed it out 10 years. What that would
or
look
even
like.
if Japan doesn't attack. Does Hitler does Hitler eventually invade us?
I don't know. There was some quote I read that was like, we should let the Soviets and Nazis fight each other, and whoever's winning take the opposite side.
Why? Just so no one gets too powerful?
Yeah, basically.
It's an interesting thought.
I mean, I would call Hitler worse than Stalin. The only reason Stalin is The only reason Stalin.
Well, Stalin was a much more digestible face.
Yes,
he was a handsome man.
He was hot.
He was a hot
as
man.
a kid.
Yeah.
My buddy, I was talking.
He was
to
like a
somebody one
Cooper
day,
figure.
and they were like, "Dude, Stalin killed more people," and I was like, "Well, he had more time. Hitler's per year was, I think, rate was probably a lot better and more aggressive."
Plus, he had those cocaine eye drops.
Yeah,
know.
and really, you don't take either side.
Okay,
on that.
so
They're both monsters.
So
It's
Hitler's on base percentage was a little higher.
a lot higher.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great slugger average.
Hitler had more fucked up rate stats, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
as a baseball analyst would say.
Yeah,
His war was just off the charts.
Yeah. Stalin was a real counting stats guy.
God, the biggest war
Oh,
crime,
dude,
though.
he was like the Emmett Smith. He just had a long career.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, honestly.
How dare you both?
Is that more disrespectful to Emmett Smith or?
I always forget that Emmett Smith's a Florida guy.
Yeah, no,
Joseph Stalin.
everyone does. No
Yeah.
one's like, well, wait, he went to UF? Yeah, no. He was really good.
Did he play for Spurrier?
What year? If he was there in 90 or 91, he did.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think the biggest war crime of all of it is, you ever seen Hitler in shorts? Ugh.
Yeah,
Gross.
terrible thighs.
I mean, just like ugly knees.
He
Yeah,
really.
all of it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing was good about him.
he hated himself, so that's why when he was like, "This
Yeah.
is the perfect human," it was not him.
Yeah.
Here's my question: how many Hitlers have we prevented by telling everyone that their art is good now?
Being more inclusive, not
I mean,
bullying.
think about it. Does anybody ever be like to someone else's face, be like, "Your art's terrible"?
Yeah, all the time. We get comments all the time.
Yeah.
But
it's
like,
not the same.
that's
To their
To your
face.
face, yeah. You could take an internet comment.
Yeah. Internet comments don't count. Until they do.
Society's gotten more and less critical of creation or like content at the same time.
It's like a net zero.
Yeah, it is kind of
Yeah.
like a net zero.
Yeah.
All right, we haven't prevented any Hitlers.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Next Hitler is amongst us.
Yeah.
We talked about this before, right?
There's got to be one.
like
There's
a
always
ton of Hitlers.
There's a bunch rolling around. They
Yeah.
just never.
Yeah,
The
like-
stars got to align for
Like
Hitler.
Hitler,
to pop up.
Hitler
Yeah.
wasn't like special. He
Yeah.
was just another dude.
No, he was at a
Right.
beer hall.
Hitler
Like,
is not LeBron James, right? Like he wasn't genetically gifted and like worked really hard. Like everything.
He wrote a
came-
very whiny
like
book.
he's still in the
Yeah.
league, but like he's maybe getting minutes off the bench.
maybe, but even then, everything had to go right for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't like he wasn't some like supernaturally gifted person, you know, where it's just like there's no way this guy wasn't going to be
He was
incredible.
emo as shit.
He had
He
the
had a
emo
hipster
haircut.
mustache.
No, the haircut was.
Yeah, the haircut.
He had
the
a
bangs.
He had a
went-
good.
He wrote a book called My Struggle or whatever. Like,
He-
what would
he
it
had a-
Mein Kampf
he had
mean?
a good
Like,
yelling
My
voice.
Struggle.
Struggle,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's the whiniest shit I've
How
ever heard
many
of.
you would want to just like light someone on fire today if they had a blog called My Struggle?
You know, someone probably has a blog called that. They just don't catch the irony in it. That's like,
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
That's
No.
like the nationalist movement here called the base. It's like, oh, you mean Al Qaeda?
Oh, is that what Al Qaeda means?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it means.
Yes.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, I saw
It's the base.
somebody tweet out unironically that they want people who are vaccinated to wear a letter on their like somewhere on their body so they know that they're vaccinated, and everybody that's not vaccinated stands out. It's like, hey,
That's a bad move either way.
Well, that's like inverse flair, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
made the Jews do it, but so it's like or like it's not a scarlet letter. It's like a good scarlet
It's
letter.
an inclusive.
Well, it's not. Well,
not-
it was what the gold.
the gold star.
Gold. It was a gold star that they wear. So like pretty much a gold star for vaccinated people.
Yeah, or
I used to say the same thing all the time in second grade when you got a gold star for stuff. I'd be like, "That's what they made the Jews do." You Nazi bitch, Mrs. Schaus.
did you get sense of that? Oh, Schaus, huh?
Yeah, her name. My second grade teacher was named Mrs. Schaus. Actually, a deeply German name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
See, yeah, I was.
Schaus.
Yeah. Like I had.
She was great, though.
I had
I'm sure.
problems with Miss Scavatino. So you Italian hoe.
Yeah.
My fourth grade teacher.
Yeah, but your trains run on time, huh, bitch?
Think about how we train our children every day to value putting gold stars on people who stand out.
Yeah.
Makes you
We
think.
just shine, baby. You gotta put a gold star on the ones that shine. That's right.
That's how they should have branded it.
Every Juden is a star. Yeah, let's go.
Oh Christ!
Sorry, I keep bumping the table. But yeah,
Yep. So we'll be back next week with the one and only Jack Mandeville.
If you don't know who he is,
He's hilarious.
Give him a
And
look.
one of the funniest people I ever
He
met
knows
in my
way
life.
more about history than I do. So
probably than all of us combined somehow.
He's great.
Yeah, just me and Dan combined.
I don't want that.
Oh, well, we'll let you guys go toe to toe. It's your topic next week, like we said. We'll be covering.
Well, Jack picked it, but I'm gonna try to inform as much as I can, which is just overrated civilizations.
So like samurai, Vikings. We're gonna cover all that stuff.
Samurai's not a civilization, but maybe overrated historical.
No, it's not. So yeah. That's pretty much what it was. That was his suggestion.
Well, he said what samurai,
cultures,
Vikings, and
cultures.
Aztecs.
Yeah.
Aztecs, I can't wait for.
So we're gonna actually record that Friday before Jack Sesh. So
Yeah. We'll record it Friday, but it'll be out.
It'll be
Monday.
out Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Oh, I can give you a preview of the Aztecs
as usual.
already. The Aztecs is just like, oh no, don't cry for one colonial empire getting murdered by another one.
Yeah, basically, they were taking over everywhere.
Yeah, you can cry for the people you should feel. The people you should feel bad for are the civilizations that allied with the Spanish, because they were tired of the colonial yoke of the Aztecs.
Yeah,
thinking, all right, these guys will free us, and then getting ass fucked afterwards.
Yeah, no one's
that's
ever
the
freed
problem.
Yeah,
it's not the Aztecs. The Aztecs were also assholes.
maybe everyone's an asshole.
Everyone's an asshole.
Yeah, shit don't
Shit don't
change.
change.
That's my favorite thing to say is just like, there's something to be said for actually doing something versus hypothetically doing something. But I always want to be like, at the same time, like, I can't fully, like, they didn't do it. Like, this civilization didn't do it, and that's fair. But also, they didn't have the opportunity. And I can't fully judge someone. I fully, like, they, like, let's see what their character is when they have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
You like to think you would do it at the time, but really,
Would or wouldn't, depending on.
It's like people. It's like I would have stopped the terrorist on the plane. It's like, would you?
Yeah,
have?
would you have?
And
Mark
again-
Wahlberg? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have?
Yeah.
We'll cover this all next week with Jack Mandeville.
Yeah.
Until then, I'm Dan Regester for Rob Fox and Jake Goldman. We'll see you next week, and you just got soft served.